Hey, good midday to RIPCURL crew. I am hoping you're having an awesome day, getting things done you need to get done, getting prepped up, uh, and heck, maybe even having some fun. But I hate to be a little bit of a downer, but I want you guys to know what's going on while we're being distracted with our misinformation, disinformation, and heck, sometimes the truth can be thrown in there and we'd never recognize it. Also, we're really ramped up on the division of preppers and patriots and shoot, even the left. They're trying to split us. They're trying to get us fighting each other so they don't have to. And this is what's happening while that's all happening. And I want you to know, when we get wrapped up in those kind of things, it's made and done for a reason so that we're not concentrating on other things that may be going out. This was brought to us also by Pinball Preparedness. Really thank him. Want to give him credit in there. You guys should check him out as well. This is a high up Chinese socialist. Says his name there. I'm not even going to bother trying to say that. And it's from our neighbors overseas there that, well, have just surpassed us in their Navy. And I guess they're feeling pretty bold and proud of it, especially when you see what I'm about to show you.
结果没想到中国要在2027年超过美国了。2027年，原来说是可能还要缓个1-2年，结果今年这个上帝搞了个小阴谋，是吧？上帝给这个搞出来一个新冠，叫世界各国一弄。
Okay, so in fair use, did you catch what he said there? It's almost like he's laughing about it. He's saying, with luck's have it, we've passed them up, we're going to pass them up in 2027. And he says it's because of the CV-19 that God brought us. Let's think about that. Do you guys agree with that? I thought maybe it came from somewhere else. Let's listen more.
搞一搞这个新冠，这么一折腾新冠，结果对世界各国出了个考题，等于是，结果这个考题是个偏心的考题。这个新冠啊，这个东西啊，它是最不利于欧美的，最有利于朝鲜和中国的。所以全球抗疫，朝鲜第一，中国第二。朝鲜是个零嘛，是吧？朝鲜是零感染。所以这个体制啊，它可以做到。我们这个体制也好，但是比朝鲜还差一点，还不如朝鲜。所以咱还死了4000人，是吧？但是你死4000人和美国死22万人比，你等于一个人都没死嘛，对吧？咱们等于差不多也是接近零感染，接近零死亡，14亿人死了4000人，那根本就等。
I don't see anything amusing about this virus being unleashed on the world or people dying from it. Whether it's being blown out of proportion, being used for an agenda, to push an agenda, to make other things happen in our country, or to bring our country down, I don't see the humor in it. What do you think?
没人得病，没人死嘛。中国经济，全球经济，中国现在一枝独秀。中国超过美国时间提前了，2027年没有问题。
We're ahead of time in overtaking the U.S. economically. And I want to let you know I'm using this in fair use, but just think about that for a minute. Does that sound like they've had a plan all along? I know I've read that in some of the things that I read, but they're not apologizing for that fact. They are absolutely owning it.
美国活不成了，美国活不成。我现在再讲一下，就是在座所。
The U.S. will not survive. I don't know about you guys, but I sure plan on it. And I sure think they're underestimating us. I sure hope that they're underestimating us, because I can tell you this, if we don't stop fighting each other, he could be right. But I can guarantee you that if we come together, and that means, yes, even our brothers on the left or the right or the libertarian or the Earth First Green Movement person, I'm not saying we have to agree with everything fundamentally that we believe, but there's one thing we absolutely have to agree on, is that we have to stand together to fix this country. We must be as one if we're going to change it. If we're going to move and push to get the corruption out and stop these kind of game playings from happening. You know, the reason why this man right here thinks it's funny and thinks that we won't survive and has a plan to overtake us. Now, think about how he's saying that. Overtake us. That's not that far off from invade and take us.
的人，我们不是你们14亿中国人几乎都认识不到这一点，不是中国在整，不是美国在整中国，是我们把美国逼得活不下去了。因为我们经济上2027年要超过美国，按 GDP 要。
We are screwing with them, and it's going to be our downfall. Personally, I'm not screwing with anyone. I want to be able to have the freedoms and liberty to do what I need to do, and I want to protect that for everyone else. Interesting.
超过美国，我们按这个 PPP， 按这个实际购买力，我们已经在2014年超过美国了。经济上上去了，贸易上上去了，然后就军事体系，我们奋斗了10几年，在2012年。我们已经在台海取得了。
And there you saw it. He just said that their military has overpassed us. We achieved superiority over the US and Japan as far back as 2012. This is what they're telling their people. Now, I'd like to believe that their people would like to be free like we are and wouldn't like to live under the iron fist and the social credit scores and the train rides to re-education camps just because you choose to believe in a different religion, or the organ harvesting if you don't. I have to believe that they don't want that, but you can't underestimate the power of propaganda that's being fed to these people and how it's going to drive them towards these kind of goals that he's talking about.
对美日，在台海不是在世界，我们在渤海、黄海、台海，我们对美军形成了绝对优势，而且我们的扩军的速度是人类历史上所从未有过的。我们已经连续好几年，每年下水一个法国海军，1年一个法国海军吨位。我们还要继续每年一个法国海军，至少在下10年。经济、军事。
Again, while we were sleeping, fighting each other, and letting corruption get into our government, this country is focused and undercover, as reported by people like Marfugel. they were building and building and building at an unprecedented rate, using his words. And bam, they have the biggest navy on the planet.
贸易、外交，你看，我们现在在所有的国际组织里面啊，我们都去争那个当那个头，你看到没有？啊，因为以前肯定不是美国当头，就是美国指定一个头。中国人去了以后就这样看啊，挺好，挺好，挺好，挺好。现在中国人说，哎呦，好像该我了。你看，我们挑战美军军事霸权，挑战美元霸权，挑战美国世界贸易霸权。除了我们挑战不了美国的科技和教育以外，我们现在挑战美国的一切霸权。只要14亿中国人民每天吃饭、睡觉、拉屎、尿尿，只要我们每天上班，我们就把美国逼死了。这个从怎么讲，中国的发展都是不可抗拒、不可停止，除非只要一个事情不出，只要中国不出一个戈尔巴乔夫，不把中国自己内部搞乱，不搞得自己分崩离析，中国的发展就不可抗拒。这就是回答你的问题。所以美国现在啊急了，美国真急了，这就是。
They're serious, and they have been for a long time. And this is what I've been saying in the past, that a lot of people seem to think, oh, it'll never happen. I'm listening to this man, and it certainly doesn't sound like he thinks it's never going to happen. It sounds like he thinks it's happening right now. And they're dead serious about it.
为什么美国两党、美国党政军、美国产官学、美国各阶层人民，现在包括美国75%以上美国老百姓，都仇恨中国了，恨得要死，巴不得中国明天天崩地裂，啊，都完蛋最好，因为实在逼得美国没法活。这个矛盾是不可调和的，不会打仗原因，我几句话，因为。
So he said something really important there. One, until now, I had no ill will towards their country. And to be honest, I don't have any ill will towards their people. I would love to see their people get freedom and see what it is and get out from the iron thumb that they have down on them. But I will tell you this. That iron thumb is coming here if you can't see it. What do you think? Do you think it's coming? It kind of feels like it. I mean, they want us to have smart IDs, CV passes, wearing masks all the time, soon a digital dollar. Maybe even a reset. And certainly they want social surveillance. And it's just a small step to a social credit score. To have a digital dollar that you can't buy, sell, or trade without a device or an implant or a phone, that's pretty much it, don't you think? So look outside when you're at your shopping center. I can't help but to see how much it looks like their country. And if you caught right at the end, he says, what is going on is irreconcilable. So what that tells you is we're getting this from the horse's mouth. Our leadership is saying we have great relations. And then, of course, well, they were taking advantage of us in trade, so we fixed that. But we still have a great relationship. Man, if this is a good friend, I don't need any enemies.
美援朝打过了，援越抗美打过了，这2仗已经打过了，当然还欠一仗没打，我们还要拿台湾，对吧？这个我拿下来，拿不拿你都不敢跟我打，所以你要打中国，那中国毛泽东时代2弹一星早就是为你打中国准备的，你敢吗？哪有和国家之间打战争的？开玩笑呢，是吧？他能想到的办法，无论多。
Did you catch all that? They think they've been doing a lot of things. It sounds like they may have. Sounds like they may have already done some aggressive actions. And it certainly seems like they're not worried about us. If they want their little island that floats off beside them that begins with a T, Teeny Wan, they'll just take it. And there's not a thing we can do about it.
的下三滥，他都敢干，都会干，都要干，除了不打仗不断交以外。
So, I hope you found that as interesting, as chilling, as concerning, and certainly infuriating. So I'm going to tell you guys something. If you don't think right now is the time that we need to prepare, you're wrong. If you don't think we need to, well, as Prepper Now would say it, stack, stock, and stick with the plan, you're wrong. If you don't think we need to stop infighting and arguing and putting aside our differences and coming together, you're wrong. And if you don't think, too, that we need to clean up our act and our leadership, you're wrong. But we need all of us to accomplish this. Because as you can see, that country doesn't allow it any other way. It will be a unified front. It will be focused and organized and have goals. We cannot be divided. And we must be free. And we must, absolutely must, save our rights when it comes to the Second Amendment. Because the only thing that kept Japan from coming for us, according to their biggest general, was the fact that he didn't want to poke a sleeping giant, because there was a rifle behind every blade of grass in the hands of an American. And the reason why these people are so emboldened is because that has been being whittled away. And if it does get whittled down to a toothpick, which is then used to pick the teeth of the people that just fed on us and thrown away, well, we better get used to slippers and rice paper walls, funny looking hats, and doing what we're told. And I don't know about you, but I like to make my own decisions. I like to decide how many kids I get to have. I like to decide where and when and how I travel. I like to decide what beliefs religiously I have without the fear of being hauled away, mind washed and reprogrammed. And if I'm not a good boy, somebody else's extension of life. I want that to be my choice, who gets my organs. So, thank you for giving me your time. I really appreciate it. I'm sorry it's such a somber thing, but you know what? Don't let it get you down. It's simple to deal with this as long as we deal with it together, as one, standing as one. So remember, in the old days, there was no such thing as preppers. It's because they called it life. Remember to stay safe, secure, aware at all times, and prepared for anything. And if you've done all that, well, you can rest in peace knowing you're prepared. I love all you guys.